sign, you'll come back to life again. Let me see a little bit of your sunshine. Well, I don't know if I can wait around for Judgment Day. I got people to rob and places to leave before I die.
Hey, yeah. Look, I'm out the door before checkout time. Room swept, so when the cops come to check out mine, everybody's trying to be the cop that got me, cause I was stealing from the rich like Robin of Lochley. These caps was as soft as cotton candy. So as soon as they saw the heat, they had gotten Nancy and gave up the goods with no hesitance. I gave the cash to folks that had lost their staff benefits, want money orders to pay for utilities. Authorities with no idea where this girl would be, hunting like killing bees on the swarm. Red light, green light, peace, I'm gone.
I've been tempted, I've been tried, I've been hung out to dry. I've been poked and I've been pried. I keep rolling on down the line. Show me a sign, you'll come back to life again. Let me see a little bit of your sunshine. Well, I don't know if I can wait around for Judgment Day. I got people to rob and places to leave before I die.
It's wild watching society in collapse, where lies are flying high, requirements getting trashed, they wide percent and wireless files for getting snatched, desire for crooked scams transpiring on the web. Yeah, it's major crime. You need to watch your paper, keep the vampires under your watch, may have to stake them. Valuables close to your chest, so they don't take them long as you keep it under your vest, so you can shake them. Haters, they really hating, they coming with more than hate. The tolerance for debating, they really much more than takes. Still gotta keep it strategic, smiling right in their face. Set your ops up for failure with spectacular
And I
disgrace.
say, show me a sign, you'll come back to life again. Oh, let me see a little bit of your sunshine. Oh, I don't know if I can wait around for Judgment Day. I got people around and places to leave before I die. Oh, I got people around and places to leave before I die. Last night, while I was digging a grave in a rainstorm in Kentucky. Last night, while I was digging a grave in a rainstorm in Kentucky, I was knee deep in muddy water, missing my baby, my baby.
From the field like Nash, gangsta grass. Walk that line like Johnny for the cash. From the town called Wick that ass. And I'm feeling homesick, finna feel like glass. Full of dirty water, spitting like I'm sitting this and quitting for a quarter of a century. What the judge sentenced me, knee deep in the streets, I plead insanity. It wasn't my fault, all the voices in my head kept screaming out that she was better off dead. Trying to pull them out like the head by the strands. I don't know what happened, all this blood on my hands. See holes in the wall, furniture torn. Calling out to my lady, getting no response at all. My body ain't moving, why she ain't breathing. Must have blacked out on this dark rainy evening.
You gotta take that shovel in a rainstorm in Kentucky. When it's time, you gotta take that shovel in a rainstorm in Kentucky. That grave, oh Lord, has to get dug for my baby, my baby.
Brother man, I got the shovel in my hand, trying to excavate this land just as fast as I can. Damn, it's a shame what had happened to her. I heard a man blacked out and put a clap into her.
Can't believe it, she was just about to leave, kid. We had plans to move her out just that evening. Next thing I know, I get a call from the cops. paper dollar got shot.
Yeah, he's gonna be up for $0.25 while we digging this hole, trying not to get struck by the lightning as the rain turns the soil into muck. Gotta get it in the ground, boy, the boys run amok.
Well, guess who else ain't waiting? Gotta connect at the court to my boy named Nathan. He knows a back way in. I'm gonna be laying in the cut with the AK from my brother Raylan.
While I was digging a grave in a rainstorm in Kentucky last night. While I was digging a grave in a rainstorm in Kentucky, I was knee deep in that muddy water, missing my baby, my baby.
Through the county, the fam put a bounty out on the head to get him dead and make him count me.
A life for a life, I have to do what I have to do. And now that she's gone, what the hell do I have to lose?
You gotta take that shovel in a rainstorm in Kentucky. When it's time, you gotta take that shovel in a rainstorm in Kentucky. That grave, oh Lord, has to get dug for my baby, my baby.
Not a single solitary drop. No relent from the thirst of the drought. So parched till your skin starts to crack on your mouth. Sun beating on your neck, not a shadow of a doubt. I know there used to be fish here. Not somewhere at the source, none of the water seems to get here. The rainy season missed this year. Every drop into a drum with the overbearing fear. When the riverbed is barren, dust devils start to fly. Look up, it's not a solitary cloud in the sky. Sun gleaming till you need to seek protection for your eyes. The livestock sick, the crops start to die. Wildfires breaking, there's no water to extinguish. Taking all the strength that we possess not to relinquish. The people reach up to the divine with their hands. What was life-giving waters now lying in the sand.
To my life I threat because of you. Took me for everything that I had, now I got nothing left, and you can't be mad when you find everything that you had before. Gone, disappeared, and it ain't no more. You adored my beauty, it was all for you. Now a barren wasteland gonna be your view. Who knew that it would end so fast? The way you treated me is like you thought that it would last. All you do is take, you don't let me drown. If I'm running, I'll be gone, and you can't ask why.
here today, they won't take my resume. So kiss my ass, motherfucker, you gon' pay. I'll get a big backyard, sipping on champagne, or a gravel yard with a number for my name.
You can blame the government or blame the economy. Some of the fault even belongs on me probably, but I don't give a damn at this point. I don't wanna see a single motherfucker move in this joint. Have a seat, place both hands under your feet. You may not get blasted, but you can't get beat. Please, Mr. Teleman, don't even try that. I know all of your tricks, skip the stacks with the die pack. D, try that guard up, I don't like how he's moving his arms. If he goes for the alarm, he's getting harmed. Take me to the safe deposit boxes in the vault. I'm taking 2 hostages in case we get caught. Miss Manager, yeah, you, and bring along the redhead. Any wrong moves and both of y'all get left dead. The rest of y'all hit the deck, faces on the ground. Cause if I hear a sound, everybody feels the pound. Let's
Laid
go.
off on here today, they won't take my resume. So kiss my ass, motherfucker, you gon' pay. I'll get a big backyard, sipping on champagne, or a gravel yard with a number for my name.
Hand me the cash, hand me the dough. Break yourself right now, fool. Act like you know. Make with the scratch, man. This thing ain't for show. It's a ticking time bomb and it's bound set to blow. Hey, keep your hand in my line of sight. I don't think you really wanna die up in this thing tonight. You empty your pockets, you lose the shoes. You don't wanna see this thing here do what it do. Cause if you do, they end up with more than a bruise. You end up on the list of the deceased in the news. You see, my man here just told y'all to give us the loot. So if I catch wind of any pace of pursuit, then one of these hostages is gonna catch a bad one. I'm already desperate, you don't wanna see me mad, son. This ain't a movie, but it's time for some action. So put it in the bag and hit the deck before I blast
Laid
you.
off on here today, they won't take my resume. So kiss my ass, motherfucker, you gonna pay. I'll get a big backyard, sipping on champagne, or a gravel yard with a number for my name. Or a gravel yard with a number for my name.
Oatmeal.
No, cold pizza.
No. Eggo waffles.
Yes!
You both said yes to something.
The delicious Eggo taste they want. The wholesome breakfast you want for them. No one says no to Eggo.
Summer's here, and just announced, get 0% financing for 5 years on select 2026 Chevy models. With no payments until after Labor Day.
Boombox family. What you know about that musical fusion life? Nitty Scott makes grass. Now I ain't never been a fanny packer, but I be spitting like somebody out your daddy chapter. We know.
But Hassan has almost made me feel sorry for him.
About whether or not Trump is on Ozempic, the new version of Ozempic, which is retatrutide, which is what Clavicular has been using. It's going to be,
If you're getting your life advice from what Clavicular is doing as your like North Star of like, oh, he did it, maybe I'll do it, something is going wrong.
I think it already completed its third phase of the clinical trials, so Eli Lilly is going to be mass distributing it soon, and your boy will be on it. All of the GLP-1 agonists, they melt your fat, they suppress your appetite, they cancel out food noise, and if you've ever been a fatty, if you're a former fatty, if you're a current fatty, you know exactly what that is. Food noise is a constant thing. I'm always thinking about food. There's not a single moment of the day where I'm not thinking about food. When I'm eating food, I'm thinking about my next meal, and this is something that a lot of people don't realize. Like, this is a very real thing that former fatties know very well and current fatties know very well.
The irony of him saying it, wearing a Democratic Socialist of America, saying, I always think about food, over-consuming while wearing this hat. The irony's out the roof. But here's the thing, I genuinely can kind of feel sorry for him. He has body image issues.
Well, yeah,
like,
and so many people
it's the max. Like,
overconsume because
not getting ahead of ourselves,
the,
but
was it
you've seen him before during the
dense?
Hassan Bro Tips
It's not-
era, where it's like, yeah, he was a larger individual. Now, what I would say is,
Right, empty
back
calories,
in the 90s, if
a
you
lot of
remember that
sugar,
movie, Heavyweights? It was about the kids that had to go to fat
yeah,
camp.
I know.
By
This
today's
is
standards, they were just the
long.
bulky kid that would probably play catcher, would be like a
Age-old
linebacker,
discussion,
maybe a
yeah.
tight end. You would be like sought after for a different position.
Right. I
But
would
the
not
idea
suggest
is, it was just a little bit on the larger side.
taking
I
that
would say
crap.
average
No,
American
I wouldn't
build,
touch it if I
but
were you.
it literally haunts him because so much of his
There's
identity
a lot of other
is
ways
wrapped up in the idea
you
that
can
I'm a
melt fat.
masculine male. I
It's
look
just
like
big
this.
pharma
And
would
it's
profit from
kind of
those
sad to
things.
see him like
The
this
same
because again, I
exact
like
reason.
the guy, but I can somewhat understand that he's
Right,
going
with
through
other
major
things.
body image issues. He really
There are
wants,
other ways.
really wants to eat that extra portion of food, and it's haunting him
To
because
treat-
his entire identity
Is it, what do you
is
call
wrapped
it,
up in the idea
depression?
that I look better than you.
Anxiety,
therefore my opinion
what?
is better than yours.
I know,
And
it's fucking ridiculous.
He's built his own presence
Sick.
inside his mind.
I
Disturbing.
think about food every single second of the day. I think about food. I dream about food. I dream about foods that I haven't consumed yet.
It's our job.
I dream about,
I love food. I don't.
In
eat
pretend
well.
land, we're in make-believe world.
I don't
and in
think I've ever been
make-believe
to this
world,
level.
that's our
Like,
job.
I love French fries. I
It's
love
role
soda.
play.
I know it's terrible for me.
That's what we
but if
do
I don't
for
have
fun
it one
here
day,
in our rooms.
It's not
Do you want to
haunting me.
join us?
This seems like he's living his worst nightmare, but it's self-inflicted.
what kind of food that I would have, and then it makes me sad because I'm like, oh my god, I can't have that food because if I have that food, I'm gonna gain weight. It's literally all I think about all the time. As a matter of fact, now that I'm talking about it, I'm sure plenty of other people are also thinking about it. There's not a single moment where food is not in my mind. Not even just in my mind, but top of my mind. Okay?
And it almost reminds
Pop
you
the
of somebody
Pringles.
that is a late-stage person that makes spicy content. They're hitting their 30s, they know the end is nigh, but they're just doing everything they can to desperately cling to relevance. I'm not saying he's like that. Well, he is that person.
Okay,
what I would
speaking
say
of
is
food,
it's the same
Did you
symptoms.
see the new kinds
In a way that is,
of
in a way that literally, like,
Skinny
changes
Pop?
the dynamic of the
I'll
day.
show you. I haven't tried them yet, so I can't tell you if they're good, but I'm sure it's
In my
going to be
mind,
good.
literally,
It is Skinny Pop limited edition. Limited. Get it at items while they last, please. It's truffle popcorn. I know initially it's like, ugh, because I'm not a big truffle fan myself, you know? Yeah, I know, I'm working on it. Thank you. Yeah, I'm working on that, thank you. It's hard to keep up with. No, I don't want to try it right now because I just rinsed my mouth and it wouldn't taste good. And then the other kind, get ready for this, salted caramel popcorn. They're dairy free. They're both dairy free. Popcorn, sugar, olive oil, salt, tapioca solids, brown sugar, caramelized sugar, natural flavor. Crafted with olive oil and a sweet butterly. Butterly. I like that better. And a sweet buttery caramel flavor with a hint of salt, delivering a delightful, perfectly balanced crunch. Dig in for the airy, satisfying crunch and delicious flavor of Skinny Pop popcorn made with quality ingredients. Get your Skinny Pop today. Careful, popcorn bit can be a choking hazard. Use caution when eating. Not recommended for children under 4. Gluten-free, non-GMO, verified, whole grain, vegan. And it has the U on it. Do you remember looking that up and what it means? It's been a while. And this will stay good on your shelf. What's the expiration date on this? 11/28/2026. So I mean, we could keep this in the cupboard and save it for Thanksgiving if we wanted to. No, that's probably not going to happen. I'm probably going to eat it. I'm going to eat some of it today. The truffle popcorn ingredients are olive oil, rice flour, salt, of course popcorn, yeast extract, onion powder, sugar, garlic powder, spices, dried mushroom, natural flavor, and truffle extract. Yummy. Alexa, what's the name of this?
This is Sao Sao Bar Gown, Nit Rehi Magan Tun Ming, Kayal by PTCR Vyas.
So am I supposed to repeat that? Alexa, who sings this?
This is PTCR Vyas.
I could do PTCR Fias? Okay, that's better. I mean, the first one was, Alexa, who's singing this?
This is PTCR Vyas.
Alexa, what's the name of this?
This is Sao Sao Bar Gown, Nit Rehi Magan Tun Ming, Kayal by PTCR Vyas.
Sao Sao Sarbagang Mektau. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna have to take a pass or a fail on that. Alexa, what's the name of this?
This is Sao Sao Bar Gown, Nit Rehi Magan Tun Ming, Kayal by PTCR Vyas.
Sao Sao Bargown Mctung Mc I gotta make it at least sound close. Alexa, what is the name of this?
This is Sao Sao Bar Gown, Nit Rehi Magan Tun Ming, Kayal by PTCR Vyas.
Sao Sao Bargown Mcmehi Tawau by Sargaus. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I know, it's like that. It's like, here, you over there. Can you say ball? Ball. Good job, guys. Hey, you over there, say this. Alexa, what's the name of this?
This is Sao Sao Bar Gown, Nit Rehi Magan Tun Ming, Kayal by PTCR Vyas.
So, yeah, there's no point then, right? Why even bother? Bon voyage! How you doing over there fucking our kids, you sick fucks? Abusing and fucking our kids, you nasty motherfucking abusive pieces of entitled shit. Pack your shit and get the fuck out of here. And leave the children that you've abused behind, please. We'll take good care of them, believe me.
While making his humor more like a father dangerous.
Conservatives come in here to watch, like to see what's
In
going on. And
your
as Chad correctly pointed to, wearing a suit.
It's so sad. It's so
lingerie
sad. It
for
breaks our
old
hearts what they've
conservative
done
ladies.
to a lot of these families and children.
Yeah, they love that shit.
And one, why would you know
Many
that?
have died.
Two, why
Many
would
have
you
died
care?
and been killed.
Three, why would you
Not just by like their
verbally say to
abusers
your
with the
audience
intention
what
to
it is,
abuse
maybe
them.
10,000 live viewers at
Oh
a
yeah,
time
like
now?
some of the foster
Our
psycho
session
Karens.
with older ladies like
I
him.
know,
And
that
then
poor
also
one that she sat
an
on.
obsession
That was
with
sad. She suffocated a
other
12-year-old foster parent.
be with
Sweet
them,
little boy.
which all just seems like a
He wanted to
very
discover a new
self-snitching
species of
scenario.
shark, I believe. You know what? That's just one of many stories that fucking makes us so sick and irates us. And to see it happening here and the opportunity to show others exactly how the fuck they get away with it really pleases us. So thanks.
New York City, you're allowing this arrogant, clueless non-New Yorkers who I guarantee you can't find Brooklyn on a map from the Bronx to tell New Yorkers what's good for New York. These con artists, each and every one of them, look at this
Yeah, they're turning on him. Formulating his joke.
Yeah, Michael Rappaport wants to me, I think. Like, it's very
Again, I've never criticized somebody for making fun of me. I think there was even a guy, part of his crew, that like made fun of.
I will. When I try them, I'll tell you how yummy they are.
And put me on the
You're gonna take your chances and go get some anyways. Yeah, don't wait for me.
Pretty cool. I'm on that Mount Rushmore of conservative figures to him, but I probably have like 200,000 subscribers. Despite the fact that guy, I think, was wearing like cat ears and
yeah, it is kind of a no-brainer.
Outfit in one of the videos.
I mean, why wait for me to try?
I never once
for you to make that kind of decision.
Like, oh, he must want to be with.
I could die before I even try it. And then you're just gonna be sitting around like, man, I'm never gonna get to try that popcorn because Mary went and died and never tried it and gave me her opinion.
Healthcare is getting even more expensive.
Wow.
People are losing coverage. Our hospitals are closing, and the worst is yet to come. But Susan Collins gave Trump a blank check for his war in Iran. Millions of dollars that...
Get a fucking life and do something that's actually productive, man. All around the mulberry bush, the monkeys chase the weasels. Pop goes
Left versus right.
weasels. Pop goes the weasels.
When a sheriff's deputy responded to a 911 hang-up.
Hi! What? Come here.
Come here. Dun 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 dun. Pop goes the weasels all around the mulberry bush.
When a sheriff's deputy responded to a 911 hang-up.
Hi! What? Come here.
The situation quickly spiraled out of control, prompting officers from all over to provide backup. We'll take a close look at how the police deal with a barricaded suspect who has lost all reason and answer the age-old question. What's hotter, scorching Pringles or pepper spray?
Is it hot?
On June 18th, 2022 at approximately 2:11 p.m., an officer with the Dunn County Sheriff's Office, accompanied by a civilian ride-along, arrived at the rural residence of a 911 hang-up call. The officer intended to investigate, but what happened next caught everyone off guard.
Hi! What? Come here.
On your knees now!
No. Come here.
You'll be tased! Stop! Do anything! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get down! Get down! We're in Raw, where we at?
And what?
I've been counting myself 207 and 217 or 20. Please help me! Please help me! Hey, come here! Come here!
At this point, the officer deployed pepper spray. However, it seemed to have more impact on the officer than it did the suspect.
You two stand my car. Get in the car. Cover the east side. Adult male. What's up? You got a guy upstairs? Yeah. What did he do? House. Take a minute. Group yourself. What happened? Show up. Yeah. He's upstairs. Okay. Let me get Ranger. What did he do? Hold on. Just regroup. What happened? One male upstairs. Spray you? No idea. I got residual. Okay. Residual seed spray. One male upstairs. Let me grab Ranger.
Come down here now!
K9, come down.
K9 is coming in! Sheriff's office!
Are there any firearms in the house? Any guns in the house?
What's going on? Right, I see how he stopped.
Apparently, there's a fight here.
Who called you?
There was a 911 call from this residence. Who's the male that ran upstairs?
Anthony something?
Is Anthony Rock here? Watch out.
I think I know.
Is okay.
16 Junction, you're on Anthony Rock.
Anthony, time to come out.
Hey man, could you come out on the...
Come on out here.
What's he supposed to do?
Come on out here. Well, he just fought with an officer, so we got a problem.
Why don't we just have a seat right over there? Yep, come on over.
Is he still on a no contact here?
A no contact order is a court order issued by a judge prohibiting an individual from having contact with another and is enforceable by law. The terms of a no contact order can vary widely depending on the circumstances and the judge who issued it. Violating such an order usually results in fines, misdemeanor or felony charges, and even jail time.
I'd imagine. He's way high, way drunk. And guns, knives. Wagon.
I'll take a seat, Harris.
Anthony, Sheriff's Office, K9 is in the house. You're gonna get bit. Come down here with your hands up now. Is that the only way to the upstairs?
2:30, we have multiple subjects in the house, 43.
Jeez.
We got 12.
Okay. How many people are in the house?
Still 3 people in here. Well,
Yeah.
3 normally.
hey man.
Somebody else is here.
Sheriff's Office, all occupants of the house,
Hey man.
step out here now with your hands up.
Well, we'll explain it to you, but have a seat right here, okay? Sheriff's Office, K9! You upstairs, come out now with your hands in the air! Or I'll send a dog and you will be back! We have the northeast covered.
Dog coming.
I have the northeast correct.
Sheriff's Office, step to the back door now!
I could hear some voices.
Yep, that's my car.
Come down the steps now with your hands up! All occupants, come down!
That's Can you hear talking?
I can hear talking.
Do we got this?
Supposedly.
Any weapons in this house?
She says no. Grandma says no, but with the characters there, I'll hear that smack. No. It's not high and likely though.
Sheriff's Office! Whoever's out there, come down now!
You are surrounded! If it was just him, just hold on.
Yeah, just him.
You are surrounded! Come down now!
or you will be bit. I'm not sure, but we'll fill you in on everything, ma'am. So her and Anthony were in the back here. He was being very aggressive, very hostile. Turned around, saw me. I'm like, hey, come here so I can talk to you. Turns around, tries to run. Taser, struggle. Drive stun, not effective. OC, I switched to OC, hoping that would affect. Then he barricaded, and then he ran in, barricaded himself, so I know you guys are close, so I wasn't gonna race into the house here.
10-4, I have a shield. Just inside my back. Driver's side door. It's folded up.
What? Is it just him upstairs? I could hear, there was a female talking. They talked to her and the dude from my squad, and they said there's Anthony and 2 others, it sounds like. Who's up there besides them? I don't know. I assume they're probably trying to find hiding spots. Hey ma'am, is the stairs over off the living room? Roger that. 16, 17. New units have them cover the south.
There's another set of stairs.
Okay. Hey, there's a second set of stairways.
This is going to go to the south, next is going to cover for me. Then I'll join you in a sec.
Sheriff's office, come on out now! Ma'am, you need to go, okay, but you need to go sit outside, okay? What? You need to go sit outside because we have a canine dog. We don't want you to accidentally get bit. People upstairs! So, time to go outside, okay? You need to go outside, ma'am. Ma'am.
If I could go upstairs, I
Nope, we can't have that. Can't let you go upstairs. We can hear you moving up there. Come down now with your hands up. The house is surrounded.
230 County. Call 219. She's the closest car.
Ma'am.
Can I just sit here?
No, you need to sit outside. You go outside. You need to go outside, otherwise you're going to have to stay in the squad car because we can't keep watching you, okay? Yeah, the female's Pam with the red shirt. That's why she's outside, so...
She is outside?
Yes, she's fine. Just sit down, ma'am.
Where is she?
I'm not sure. She's with other cops. Sit down now. Do it now.
You go verify who we have on back to those people and see
Yep.
who else is in here.
Yep. All right, Pam, right? No. Who are you? Cass? Cass who?
See, there's only 2 of us and we'll pull back to the door.
Yeah. Who all is in the house?
Kern, 78-year-old lady.
78-year-old lady, who else?
And Pam.
So Pam, Tony,
Anthony.
Anthony's the one I was fighting with?
Yeah.
So Anthony and Pam.
And Kern, yeah.
Yep, okay. Watch these 2 as they run. Know where they're coming from, and then grab that black microphone and I'll hear you. Huh? Yeah. Alright, K9's here, so stay put.
Is it just Anthony upstairs?
I have no idea.
You don't know who was here with you? No? Okay.
What?
You don't know who was all here with you?
Pam was?
Okay.
And my son Anthony.
Okay, and then one other male? Okay, it was just you 4 then, as far as you know? Okay.
Hey man, they're way out there in front of the garage if you want to go see them.
Hey.
Pam or something? Yep. So just head right over there. You'll see him.
302 just passed us.
Well, then just hang tight there, okay? Pam was up there? Was she one outside? Was she outside before? No. Okay. What we're gonna need to do is get somebody else in to come cover those other stairs. And then we'll use one primary set of stairs. I don't know which set of stairs is gonna be safer for us to use, but 17. How many units do we have? Do we have enough for a perimeter? So we don't have to jump out? Because we'll need an extra one here. Please.
Thank you. 302 just showed up. One more gets there. I'll join you.
Yeah, I didn't realize you were here already. I was gonna clear as soon as I got him out of handcuffs and come up here.
This way around the corner, so at first it looked like just a guy doing yard work. I'm like, oh, so next now. They saw me and then he came in here, taser, went back outside, sprayed him, then he retreated, and then I pursued him.
With backup on the way, the officers planned how they would safely move upstairs and confront the suspect.
Judging by the demographics of the house, I bet you that one would be an L, and that one would be more straight until it gets to right above the...
Yeah, it's a loft there is the only issue.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
I'm sure those are like old farmhouse steps, probably skinny and...
Yeah, probably.
So you think with the shield we're better off going that one?
No, I think that one.
Also, Kathleen, Ruby.
Do we have somebody on that side?
Sheriff's office, you're completely surrounded.
Is Anthony not supposed to be here? Well, I thought before he was out on a bond not to be here.
Let me go upstairs.
No, we can't let you go up.
Sheriff's office, we're not going anywhere. The outside of the house is completely surrounded. Sheriff K9 is on scene. Come down now or you will get bit.
I can't recall, is Tony a gun guy?
I don't know. Methamphetamine user.
Well, that's very apparent. Good boy. Code Ranger. Cool.
Somebody's moving.
Sheriff's office, the outside of the house is completely surrounded. We're not going anywhere. You're under arrest. Come down now or you will quit. Sheriff's office, outside the house is completely surrounded. You're all under arrest. Not now, or please came in. Roll back.
Right in. Whoever's on the driveway side, elderly female is coming your direction to be with the others. Just keep an eye on her.
Sheriff's office, you're surrounded.
Looks like we got contact.
On the west side.
Finnish style rhythm, Finnish style refreshment. The Finnish long drink, you have to try it to understand.
At Dead River Company, showing up for our customers, keeping them warm when it matters most, is what we do. Right now, new propane customers get up to 100 free gallons, plus a low 3-year fixed price when you make the switch. Learn more at deadriver.com.
I'm coming in.
Who's talking out there?
Pam's talking outside the top window.
You're somebody talking out the window now?
Yeah.
Who's talking to?
No, that's Gilbertson, and that's 302 out there.
Yeah, no, but they're talking to somebody
23186, who are you in contact with?
Stairs should be right around the corner now.
Okay, there's actually a double stair.
Is there a double stair? Yep.
Yeah, so we're going to have to hold on one and go on one.
Okay. We have 613s right here, and then there's 2 city units.
Okay.
They're training.
Are we got this whole area covered?
I got one on the back. 613 is out here, and then Gilby's right outside here. So.
See you talk.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Call you back.
Just had verbal contact with anyone who was in the middle of the house in her room. Pick up on her.
Tell her to come down,
or she's gonna get bit.
Tough word. Tell her to come down. She's gonna get bit.
Sam, come down now! This isn't a question!
Okay, one comment I can hear coming down steps.
There's another set of steps over there, yeah? Come down, Pam, with your hands up. With nothing in them.
Alright.
Come this way.
Where's Anthony?
Barbara. Bathroom.
Come this way.
Yeah, come this way. Any guns or knives up there that you know of?
Come this way.
Okay.
Come this way.
Do you know him to normally be a knife or gun guy? A knife or gun guy? Knife, yeah.
You need to come down here.
She's all here fine. You need to go down here first and then you can talk to him. We will promise you that.
Let's move up here.
Anthony, you're under arrest. This isn't time for negotiation. Do as we say or you will get bit.
I want a doctor.
We're not.
Well, come down here and we will get you a doctor, but you gotta come down here, man. Anthony, you're gonna end up getting bit. We got the dog in here. Come on down here.
I want my attorney. I want to speak to Pam's attorney.
Come on down here and we can work on that.
We are not working on it. I don't know you. I will speak only to people I know.
Well, I'm Sergeant Mayor. I've met you before.
I don't care.
And I've treated you fairly before, so let's come down here and let's talk. I'd rather have you come. Just come down here.
No.
You need to come down here.
I need to speak to my attorney. He will instruct me.
Okay. Anthony, I do not want to see you get hurt. Okay? That's my main goal here. I don't want to see anybody here get hurt. But you need to come down here, okay?
You are a liar.
Come on down here. You need to come down here.
Anthony, we're not going to go anywhere. So let's just make it easier on all of us so we don't get hurt.
You are in my house and you are not invited.
Come show us your hands, okay?
You show me why I'm being arrested, supposedly.
Come on down here. You are under arrest, so you need to come down here.
Under what charge?
Right now, we're... Come on down here. Let's just talk. Let's talk. Come on down here.
Tony, the outside of the house is surrounded. We have about 20 cops and a dog. We don't want anyone to get hurt, you included. Come down and help anything you can so we can talk. Tony, we're not going to magically disappear.
Really? Oh, that's news.
You can come on down here, okay? And then you can talk to your mom.
My mother is the authority of this house, and she alone will decide what I will or will not do.
She told me she wants you to come down.
I will speak to my mother.
If we want to send them, I think we've reached that level to be able to send them. So,
Yeah.
He's in a very aggressive state, probably. I'm just saying we've reached that chain of progression. Yeah.
We haven't got any,
verbal response?
no, probably a minute or two.
Anthony, Sheriff's Office, Police, you are under arrest. Come down now with nothing in your hands and your hands up. We have K9 on scene. You will be bit if you do not comply now.
How does it work? Do you just let him run up and we fall behind?
Well, I'll let him go free. I'm guessing if he's in the bedroom, the door's shut, he'll sit there and scratch and bark at the door.
He's in the bathroom, she said.
He'll get in the bathroom.
At least he was when she came
So
down.
at that point, we'll have.
You got felony charges?
Well, I mean, he resisted. It was a verbal domestic from what I saw. He was yelling, screaming in her face. He took off on me, struggled. I mean, I think this cuts from when I grabbed the shield.
Under the circumstances, I hate to just release, but
I could keep Brander on lead on long line, and that way I still have control of them, and we can move up as I clear with long line.
Sure, and how long's the long line?
Well, I got a longer one than this. It's like 20 feet.
How you want to do it, Corey? With the shield, obviously, do you want the lead?
Yeah, well, you stay with me, and we'll let him go on lead, but you stay close to me.
With the lead?
Let me go grab the tires and stuff. Here. Coming in.
have we determined who made the 911 call yet?
Not crew.
Why don't we go talk to Pam and figure out what exactly was all going on here? We got just misdemeanors. Not gonna let the dog up there, and we're probably gonna just let him be here. Is there still no contact?
G16 County, is there still no contact for Anthony?
Just be advised that I ain't 12 miles on.
1617, the other female, the one that we didn't recognize out there, she's the one that I believe was in confrontation with them. Can you ask her and kind of figure out in the nutshell?
So your confrontation was with that other female?
I believe so.
Where is that, Beth? He has 4 other lines, 1 felony, 3 misdemeanor. The no contact with Pete is a misdemeanor, but that's what ties to the felony.
We're not gonna let the dog off the lead because we don't have a felony.
Felony con, I guess.
So obviously we want the dog right there.
Right.
In case
Yeah.
we don't cooperate.
Yeah, then I'll send.
Then we're gonna send him.
Yep.
But he's not supposed to cut this residence. He's not supposed to be in contact with any of these people. Cooperation.
We went through taser wasn't effective, OC wasn't effective, so now.
Yeah.
Like then I think we got a fresh proceeding when we're holding on him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Master safety.
Yeah.
We'll go back to.
Okay.
County all units, hold on emergency traffic, hold on emergency traffic.
else they did. Yeah, we never saw it too. It's good for really all perspectives. Yeah, from their standpoint. Yeah, and then when they show it to other people in similar situations, they can kind of give maybe things they would have done differently. Yeah, or just to show proper.
Show us your hands. Do it now.
Right from
you
the
step up now.
beginning.
You listen or you're going to get bit.
He's ready to
Step up here now.
No.
Anthony, step up here now.
We're not asking, we're telling you, do it now. We don't want you to get hurt.
Step up here. Step out of the tub right now. Step out of the tub.
We'll give you time. Come on, take it. Let's go. Stand up. Turn the water off. This isn't a debate. We've given you plenty of time. Let's go.
Come on. Step up. I don't want to see you get bit. I don't want to see you get hurt. I don't want to see you get shot by this foam round either. It's going to hurt. Okay? So it's time to step up.
The foam round hurts way more than a taser or OC. I promise you. And we don't want you to see you get hurt.
Bring another officer up here. I think they're just going to grab him and yank him.
Do you have an extra set of...
What do you need, gloves? Rubbers?
Yeah. Cool.
Get a whiff of scented angel soft shoes. The freshness is just...
There are trucks, and then there's the 2026 GMC Sierra. It's the truck. During GMC Truck Month, get 0% APR for 5 years on 2026 Sierra 1500 models.
Until August got injured, I'd never heard of the Fisher House. It made it very easy to be there to support my brother.
August. Anthony, I don't want to see you get bit, man. Let's have... We need somebody that doesn't have a long gun so we can make contact here.
Anthony. Anthony, step on up, come on.
Yeah, jump the gun before you come up.
Anthony, wake up. Are you on up or down? Are you on down or up? Tony.
17 on the driveway.
You two don't have anything? Go ahead.
Alright, ready? Come on, Anthony. Come on. Let's go. Let's get out here. Where are we going? Here. On the ground. On the ground. Are you on up or down? Huh?
You're under arrest at this point.
Only one custody. Open the jail. Where are you on, dude?
What's your honor?
Are you a heroin or meth?
Got anything on you besides wet clothes?
And then, what's his name? The UOD? Was it his recent OD? Fentanyl, release meth?
I'm gonna roll you to the side so I can check you. Do not kick it. You understand me?
No, I'm just in the one.
Oh, yeah. That would explain why he's up and now he's down.
Uppers such as meth or cocaine are stimulants, while downers such as alcohol or heroin act as depressants. When taken together, one drug can mask the effects of the other, increasing the odds of overdose and unpredictability of the user's behavior.
Here, let's roll him this other way. Let's check him.
Wake up, dude.
Okay.
What are you on? So we can help you.
We can get him out of the house.
Yeah.
Let's extricate him out of the house.
Yeah, that might actually not be a terrible idea.
Hey, Hammer, can you do a check negative? There's no sensing needles, bagging, anything like that?
Pretty sure.
Did you take anything so we know how to help you? Tony. Anthony, did you take any drugs today? Anthony, did you take any drugs today?
Tony, we need to help you, so you need to tell us.
Did you take any drugs today?
Oh, he's smiling, so he's with it.
I love you, Bob.
Once the suspect was secured with EMS, officers interviewed the other occupants of the house. No one claimed responsibility for dialing 911.
Do you know I didn't even know that I called?
No. It was an open call. They couldn't hear nothing. Yeah.
And police were unsuccessful in their attempts to find out what drug, if any, the suspect ingested that could explain his erratic behavior.
He's not being charged with possession of nothing because we don't have nothing on, but so the EMS can, because he's messed up, so they know how to treat him if he needs Narcan or something. Is he meth, heroin, or both?
I couldn't tell you. I really don't know that.
However, Officer Kyle was able to determine what's hotter, scorching Pringles or pepper spray.
Is it hot? Not as warm as the pepper spray.
According to court documents, the suspect pled guilty to a felony charge of attempting to disarm a peace officer and a misdemeanor bail jumping charge. A felony bail jumping charge and the charge of resisting arrest were both dropped. He was ordered to serve 60 days of jail time, maintain absolute sobriety during his incarceration, and pay fines totaling over $1,000. According to court documents, he has been arrested multiple times for misdemeanors ranging from domestic disturbance to operating a vehicle while intoxicated.
You might recognize John from our last video. He is a retired police officer after being a police officer for multiple decades. Thank you for joining us, John.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
So in regards to this video, we have a couple questions that we'd like to get your input over. The first one is, one thing the public might not realize is just how rare these events are. And in your extensive 25-year history as a police officer, how many times did you deploy a taser or pepper spray, and what was it like? Did you ever get pepper sprayed or tasered yourself out in the field?
Well, fortunately, I've never had to deploy my taser. I used to have to red dot a lot of aggressive, arrests that I had to take into custody. But as soon as they see the red dot, they comply. Thank goodness. As far as the pepper spray, I pepper sprayed probably a few people. It is effective. Not a good experience, but it is effective. And you have to use it. I had a few incidences where people wanted to, fight me, and I had to implement pepper spray. As far as me being pepper sprayed, I was pepper sprayed, unfortunately, by another officer. I responded to a fight on the highway, and he tried to, fight us. And my partner at the time, he took out his pepper spray and used it, but it was windy that day. So,
oh no!
Right, went all in me. And the funny thing, because cops have a sense of humor, and all I had on me was iced tea at the time. So I literally had to take iced tea and just pour it over my eyes, so I was not near water. It did, help, but I did get to a hospital and get flushed and everything. But yeah, it does the job.
It's effective for sure.
Yeah, it's effective, absolutely. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so the next question I have is a small dog. There's all bark and there's no bite. In this situation, it really doesn't appear to be a fan of these officers, though. Can you share a bit about your experiences, either being surprised by a dog or having to deal with man's best friend?
I've never had to deal with a hostile dog, fortunately. Usually I have been surprised a few times, but they just want to sniff you, lick you. Pets usually can tell if you're in danger or not, or there's something about you, but I've never had the situation where I was about to be bit. I know officers that have, but me, fortunately, I've never had to deal with that, so that's been good. They just sniff me and, lick me or something, but, it's been a good situation, thank God.
Sounds like a kind of good day, though. I got to meet the dog today.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Well, that's all the questions we have for you today, John. Thank you for giving your input, and again, thank you for your service.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Harrison.
Maine's rural hospitals are struggling, but
חיזבאללה וננזף על ידי האמריקאים. הייקל, מספרים בלבנון, רוצה להיות נשיא בעתיד, והתמיכה של חיזבאללה ושל העדה השיעית עשויות לסייע לו להשיג את התפקיד.
يعني حتى ما نلف وندور واشنطن لا تثق بقائد الجيش هيكل نهائيا رودولف هيكل نهائيا هذا يعني من أول الطريق.
לאחרונה עלו דיווחים כי נשיא לבנון ג'וזף אאון שוקל לפטר את הרמטכ"ל. האפשרות של פיטורי הרמטכ"ל מדאיגה את חיזבאללה. היום פורסם ביומון אל-אכבר המזוהה עם הארגון ראיון עם יושב ראש הפרלמנט הלבנוני, נביע ברי השיעי, השותף הפוליטי של חיזבאללה. ברי איים שאיש לא יעז לספר את הבדיחה הזאת ושאיש לא ישחק עם הצבא. הצבא הוא קו אדום, מעמודי התווך של היציבות הלאומית והערובה המרכזית לשמירה על השלום האזרחי. חיזבאללה מתייצב להגנת האיש שאמור לפרק אותו מנשקו. האבסורד הזה ממחיש את גודל האתגר שמציב ההסכם ואת הצורך ברפורמה עמוקה ובפיקוח צמוד על צבא לבנון.
now, the thing that I think most people do not realize is how embedded Hezbollah is within the Lebanese parliament and represented by the government, which I like that this video actually lays out. But here's the deal. This was a 2.5 minute freaking good explanation of the situation that's taking place over inside Lebanon. And so while Iran is screaming that Israel needs to pull out of it, it is important to understand the depth of the situation that's currently taking place inside Lebanon. This goes far beyond the memorandum of understanding and far beyond anything that Donald Trump can potentially control. There's not a snowball's chance in hell that the Israelis are willing to pull out of Lebanon. They're not going to do it. The U.S. could cut off every ounce of aid that we have towards them. We can sanction the hell out of them. We could probably even drop, believe me, I don't think we should do this, but we could probably even drop bombs on Israel. They're not going to pull out of Lebanon. All right, Israel looks at freaking Lebanon as the next existential threat that they must deal with. And I talked about this 3 years ago. And I said, you've got 3 different fronts that Israel has to worry about. The front inside Gaza, the front inside Lebanon, and the situation with the Palestinian Authority over inside of Judea, Samaria / the West Bank. All right, they have to deal with all 3 of those. And first they're going to take care of Gaza, then they're going to go to Lebanon, and then they're going to deal with the West Bank as they've been kind of like dealing with it off and on over the last couple of years, going in and conducting random raids, taking out different terror targets. But Hezbollah is going to cease to exist at the end of the day. And that is Iran's largest non-state terror organization, right? It is their largest funded, largest terror organization that they have put out in the Middle East, projecting themselves across it. And they're on the brink of going away. They're on the brink of going down. When I brought up the other day what was taking place over inside of Iraq, let me make sure I've got this guy's freaking name right. The undersecretary of the Iraqi Minister of Oil ended up getting arrested over inside of Iraq, right? And
I've never seen a veteran with a Nazi tattoo.
Right, so you've got the PMF over inside of Iraq, which is a very large terror organization that was vastly funded by Iran in order to help fight ISIS. The Iraqis ended up taking the PMF and essentially turning them into the Iraqi National Guard, but they continued to go out and conduct terror attacks. They have launched attacks against U.S. diplomats. They have launched attacks against our embassy. They have launched attacks against the Kurds. And for that reason, the U.S. in December had told the PMF, or had told the Iraqis that they need to basically disband and disarm the PMF. And we cut off 50% of their aid in December, telling them that they need to do it.
Last day of the month.
But they didn't. And so I believe it was around March, April timeframe, the U.S. ended up cutting off all military financial support to the Iraqis. That caused, finally, over this last month, the Iraqis to...
All right, 2 out of the 3 major terror organizations that fall underneath the PMF. Third one is still holding out. And Iraq gave them history, the U.S. ended up pulling out from Iraq. And we backed out. We completely pulled out underneath Obama. We were like, hell with it, we're out of here, our job's done. Then we saw the emergence of ISIS coming back in. The Iranians said that they are willing to help out with ISIS. They are willing to go in and they are willing to help Iraq fight against ISIS. This is when they took over Mosul and they were working their way down to Kirkuk and they were just cruising through the frickin' north. That's when America said, you know what? We're going to go ahead and put our military back into Iraq. That's where you saw like the dudes jumping in on TV, the SF guys that were meeting up with the Kurds that were stranded out in the mountains and all that other crap. All right. Well, Iran had already had things rolling, and that's where the PMF had kind of came from, and they get balled up underneath the National Guard. Now the United States is saying you need to disband them. You need to get rid of these freaking terror organizations. At the same time, Iraq is now cracking down on this. So now I want you to picture this.
Holidays, weekends.
Despite what's happening to Hezbollah over in Lebanon, you have the dismantling of Iraq's proxy forces inside, Iran's proxy forces inside of Iraq.
This work takes training.
So now Iran is sitting back looking and going, okay, yes, we have the MOU. Yes, I'm supposed to, like, I'm going to stick to Lebanon because that's in writing and I can twist that however I want. But at the same time, you have the Iraq situation and you have the situation in Yemen that I explained. So all of this crap that's going down right now is dismantling Iran's influence throughout the entire region.
This map shows
their influence is getting dismantled. Whoever it was, I might actually make the statement in the near future that I was wrong when it came down to the MOU and what it actually had stated. It might actually look like the United States had planned this crap the entire time, that the MOU actually, as poorly as it's written, in my opinion, it is grounded in international law, and you do have this agreement coming out over inside of Lebanon, which I don't think Donald Trump even knew, like the Israelis were pushing towards. Because if he did, I don't think he would have made the statement that frickin' al-Jawlani should go in and replace the Israelis inside Lebanon. But either way, what's been happening is the dismantlement of Iran's terror networks over the last frickin' month. And they're losing all their influence. Look at all this damn money, dude. I can pull up picture after picture after picture of Iraqi political figures that are being captured and arrested for doing dirty business with Iran. And then they're going to get put on trial. Some of them are probably going to get hung. Some of them are probably going to get thrown in jail. Some of them are probably going to get released. But at the end of the day, Iran is looking at this entire thing going, all of our terror networks that we use to project influence and control over the Middle East is being dismantled. To me, that signals that
major rural hospitals are struggling when Senator Susan Collins came to the rescue, delivering critical federal funding for upgrading facilities and life-saving diagnostic equipment. Susan Collins does her job, and our hospitals benefited. Call and thank her for delivering for Maine.
In the water, the day was freaking signed. There was no reason for us to be freaking bragging about it to the extent we did, because the ceasefire isn't going to last. And what the United States is doing in the Middle East right now over inside of Iraq, and make no mistake about it, this is political pressure put on by the United States to the Iraqis to clean up their mess. And that political pressure is working, and the Iraqis are cleaning up their mess. At the same time, Lebanon is cleaning out Hezbollah, and over inside Yemen, the official Yemeni government is about to kick out. They're literally about to launch a ground invasion against the Houthis. Those are the main locations in which Iran has spent its blood and freaking treasure trying to gain influence and control over the Middle East. With all of that being dismantled, then you have to ask yourself the question, is Iran going to back down just because there's an MOU on the table and they might get some money and they might get Western sanctions, or they might get sanctions relief and all this other crap? They've actually got some sanctions relief. But are they going to continue to get that? Is that going to actually bring them to the table? And to answer that question, you have to look at Iran's radical ideology. They're wanting to destroy Israel. They're wanting to destroy the United States of America. And we won't even talk about like the freaking actual like ridiculousness that is their religion. Looks like Rolex is still the preferred currency overseas, according to PPG. Yeah, that was in there, wasn't it? Is that a Rolex box right there? Like over in the back? Yep, sure is. That is a Rolex box right there. Boom. Thank you very much for pointing that out. I didn't even notice that. Incog Verde says it started in Venezuela. Yes, it did. That was something else that I tried to tell you guys all the way back then. All right. If you guys are new to the channel, I highly suggest you subscribe, because this gives you the idea of what's actually going going on in the way forward. I predicted all the way back on January 2nd that after Venezuela, after we take Venezuela and we rip Maduro out, we're going into Iran. Because the IRGC, Hezbollah, China, and Russia were all influencing Maduro over inside Venezuela. And the IRGC was selling weapons to Venezuela. I said, after all of this, Cuba is next. And if the diplomatic solutions that we're currently working on in Cuba don't play out and cause a drastic change, we will be bombing the shit out of Cuba, likely in the next 12 months, depending on how long it takes this Iran situation to settle down. But Venezuela was step number one in order to kick out the Russians and the Chinese from the Western Hemisphere. Cuba's going to be step number two. And the reason going over and dealing with Iran has to do with getting the economical leverage over China via the Strait of Hormuz and
A vicious militant is systematically targeting innocent civilians.
The guy was so brutal. If you kill everybody else, eventually people stand back and say, whoa, we got a big guy.
An elite group of special forces are hand-picked from across the world to take the terrorists out.
You do a series of raids that is devastating.
They are led by a maverick general with radical new methods.
If you hit an organization repeatedly enough, you could actually cause them to collapse.
It's a race against time. They must stop him before more blood is shed.
Nothing's routine if there's lives at risk.
Iraq, April 2006. In the dead of night, a helicopter lifts off from a desert airbase. On board is a group of elite soldiers from a secretive unit, codenamed Task Force Black.
On the way to a mission, I'm often asked, were you nervous? You know, I don't have time to be nervous because there's so many things happening. I mean, everyone is busy.
They are bound for a house in an area known as the Triangle of Death. Their mission is to arrest a senior member of the deadly terror group, Al-Qaeda, in Iraq.
You should always be expecting the worst. What if we get fire upon? What if the fast rope is in the wrong spot? What if we get around and the helicopter is downed outside the compound?
Their targets are ready to resist with extreme violence.
Almost as soon as they were through the door, they were hit by a hail of bullets. The people inside clearly knew somebody was coming, they were armed and they were waiting.
The team quickly kill the first militant and move in to clear the rest of the building.
There were half a dozen assault rifles. There were dozens of hand grenades. There were at least 2, possibly 3, wearing suicide vests.
And at the top of the staircase, one of the suicide bombers steps out of the shadows and detonates his vest. By now, the militants are fighting with everything they have. 2 more appear on the roof and spray the assault force with bullets. The soldiers of Task Force Black are accustomed to this kind of brutal violence. They face it on a daily basis.
At the end of the day, we're going to win. And we'll do whatever it takes to win.
Though the Special Forces don't realize it, this house holds the key to finding the most wanted man in the Middle East. One of their captives tonight will lead them to Abu Musab al-Zarqawi, the leader of Al-Qaeda in Iraq. He has murdered thousands of innocent civilians and spread terror throughout the region. His campaign of violence is so effective, the US has created a Black Ops task force with just one mission: taking al-Zarqawi down.
This was a guy who had murdered thousands of people. In fact, he murdered many more people than Osama bin Laden ever did.
To understand how al-Zarqawi rose to become one of the most feared terrorists on the planet, we must look to the town of Zarqa, Jordan, 500 miles to the west of Baghdad. Al-Zarqawi was born here in 1966.
Zarqawi's background is he was a criminal. He spent time in a Jordanian prison for sexual assault. He was a drug dealer. He was a petty criminal in Jordan.
The accounts differ as to whether he was actually a sort of hard-boozing villain in his hometown. But it's certainly true that he was involved in some forms of crime, and that he probably had some kind of epiphany, some kind of moment when he realised that his life was going the wrong way, and that Islam was the answer for him.
In 1989, al-Zarqawi travels to Afghanistan to become a freedom fighter against the Soviet occupation. It is here that he meets his mentor and inspiration, Osama bin Laden.
He had come up during the course of the war in Afghanistan. People understood his importance as an operational leader, and he was clearly trusted by bin Laden and the al-Qaeda senior leadership. He was well liked by the soldiers in al-Qaeda. He was well respected by the leadership. He was incredibly capable. He was experienced.
Over the next 15 years, partly with bin Laden's support, al-Zarqawi grows to become an accomplished terrorist. By 2003, he's in Iraq, fighting against the American-led invasion. The early months of the war appear to be a swift and stunning victory as the old regime melts away. But al-Zarqawi is waiting in the shadows to start a new campaign of violence.
When he was deployed into Iraq, we understood as the American counterterrorism community that this was a significant event. He had that unique combination of skills that would allow him to be a real force for al-Qaeda against us inside Iraq.
In the months that follow Saddam's overthrow, chaos envelops the country. Al-Zarqawi takes full advantage of this, actively working to stir up the hatred between Iraq's two main religious groups, the majority Shia Muslims and the minority Sunnis. He creates a militant group with the aim of killing as many Shias as possible, thus sparking retaliations and creating a brutal cycle of violence. It is called Al-Qaeda in Iraq, or AQI.
We mistakenly look at these organizations as terrorist groups. This is too narrow. These are revolutionary organizations that want to spread an idea. They don't want to just spread weapons or explode suicide. The idea is they could return to what they call a caliphate, a 14 centuries old concept that there's a pure way to live according to the Quran and the Prophet Muhammad. So the idea is, where can you find a springboard to do this? Afghanistan, Pakistan, and then you get Iraq.
The militant Islamists were prepared to do pretty much anything. And of course, quite soon they discovered that bombing things like the UN offices in Baghdad, the International Committee of the Red Cross offices, and then moving on to targets like markets, queues outside police stations where the police were recruiting, all those sort of things, were actually far easier targets than American convoys or American bases, where the T-walls had gone up. The base represented a hard concrete face to the world, and yes, if you drove a truck up, you might kill the guy on the gate who was checking passes, but you were unlikely to achieve a major result.
Al-Zarqawi orchestrates numerous suicide bombings. A devastating series of attacks in March 2004 kills close to 200 people at Shia holy sites.
So they shifted their targeting towards the sort of softer targets that could yield more spectacular results, And of course soon they were killing dozens, scores, maybe even sometimes over 100 people in a single complex attack.
On the 11th of May 2004, al-Zarqawi is linked to a new outrage. A video of an American hostage appears on a jihadist website. The American, deliberately dressed in a Guantanamo Bay-style orange jumpsuit, is Nick Berg, a 26-year-old communications engineer from Pennsylvania. Berg was kidnapped in Iraq a month previously, and the video shows his unimaginably horrific death.
The video is one of those horror show type of jihadist videos in which a long knife is used to cut his throat, and you can even hear the sound of the knife on bone, and the screams. It's a truly horrific video. But the point is, at the beginning of the video, in the original form it was released, it says Abu Musab al-Zarqawi slaughtered as an American.
The CIA determines that al-Zarqawi himself is the hooded man wielding the knife.
The guy was so brutal, so tough. It's sort of like a mafia family operating in New York City. If you kill everybody else, eventually people stand back and say, whoa, we got a big guy, a big dog on the corner in town, and we better be careful.
Zarqawi could see that if he publicized himself and what he was doing as a really militant, irreconcilable enemy of the Americans, that this would bring him money from the collections in mosques for the jihad, it would bring him volunteers from across the Arab world, and in that calculation he was right.
He really put the crosshairs on his own head by all these spectacular acts and all the press that he was receiving.
So just the brutality and the effectiveness of his efforts against first the Americans and then the locals, I think people stood back and say, this guy's a blowtorch. We better let him roll.
What the Iraqi Sunnis started to believe, and those people who had joined Al-Qaeda, was that if the Americans can't kill Abu Musab al-Zarqawi, can't stop him, then maybe he was predestined to win the war.
Berg's death is a signal to the world that al-Zarqawi's reign of terror is escalating out of control. But secretly, the US is planning a series of black ops designed to bring him crashing down. In Washington, ending al-Zarqawi's reign of terror has become a top priority for President Bush and his inner circle of advisors.
You come in, and the days where the momentum, you feel like the momentum hasn't been with you, you start with, your thought is really so simple. It's let nothing blow up today. Let me get through today with nothing blowing up.
It wasn't that we were losing, it was just like, when will this end? And how will it end?
Al-Zarqawi seems to have the power to strike at will, and yet somehow he remains completely hidden.
We really didn't know what he was doing in Iraq, and we didn't know, like, did he have wives there? Did he have kids there? Where was he moving? What was his support network?
What most counterterrorism officials will tell you is you go through periods where you feel beleaguered, right? You go through periods where you're making very limited progress and you're trying to understand why that is. Why does he seem to have momentum behind him? And you're trying to figure out, what can I do to change that dynamic? But anybody who's been in this fight will tell you that's what happens. You go through these periods and you've got to push through it. You've got to understand what is it that's giving him the momentum and how do you take that away from him?
No one even has a recent photo of al-Zarqawi, let alone any idea where he is. He doesn't use a mobile phone, for fear it will be tracked. He only meets with a select group of trusted advisors, whose own whereabouts are unknown.
He really was kind of a ghost for a long time. And you would get bits and pieces here, but usually by the time you got them, they were outdated.
In September 2003, a new general arrives in Iraq. His name is Stanley McChrystal. He has radical new ideas for hunting down al-Zarqawi and destroying AQI.
General McChrystal is one of the most dedicated individuals I've ever met. He is a driven, driven warrior. He artfully looked at where he could make the most impact.
Sam McChrystal, unique guy. Years of experience with our Special Operations Forces at all levels, former Ranger commander. You get personalities that are that strong, that experienced, that well respected. The force falls in, and their operational experience starts to show. And it's just the type of guy you want in that position.
McChrystal is the newly appointed commander of the Joint Special Operations Command, or JSOC.
And certainly in every conflict, the JSOC has been there. They were in Grenada, they were in Panama, Gulf 1, Gulf 2, Kosovo. Pretty much where there's a conflict, you can depend that JSOC has been there first, and they're always the last to leave.
Formed in the late 1980s to coordinate the work of America's elite troops, JSOC controls the best of the best from across the US military. These are the so-called Special Mission Units, Navy SEAL Team 6, Army Delta Force, and the Air Force 24th Special Tactics Squadron, active in every corner of the world, often on highly classified missions. The men of JSOC are experts in precise, targeted strikes against hard-to-reach enemies.
It was a very secret organisation, and it was tasked with fighting the most sensitive types of mission against US enemies, obviously, in the context post 9/11, terrorist enemies, counter-terrorism.
At the start of the war, JSOC's mission had been to find and arrest the leaders of the old Iraqi regime, the men famously depicted on a deck of cards, with Saddam Hussein as the ace of spades.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Within a year, even Saddam himself is in custody. But this creates a power vacuum, and al-Zarqawi is ready and waiting to step into the breach.
In decapitating what some call the Ba'athist or nationalist leadership, they probably assisted the growth of al-Qaeda in Iraq, because by taking away the leadership figures, the sheikhs, the former generals, the key people, the key Ba'athists, they left quite a lot of angry, young, militant Sunnis with nowhere to go.
McChrystal takes a strategic decision to abandon the hunt for ex-members of the old Saddam regime. Instead, he will focus almost all of his resources on just one man, Abu Musab al-Zarqawi.
Commander gave us a big speech. The point of the speech was the only way to win the Iraq war and to stop the violence between Sunni and Shia is to find and kill or capture Abu Musab al-Zarqawi.
To get to al-Zarqawi himself, McChrystal knows he needs to build a complete picture of his terror network, AQI. He sets up a large command center at an old Iraqi airbase in the town of Balad, north of Baghdad. Then he invites all of America's many competing spy agencies to set up camp there. From now on, interagency turf wars are banned, and everything will be shared.
When we started working with Special Forces, and I remember General McChrystal, he's a real hero in this war. I remember him coming into CIA headquarters and saying, you know, we need some of your people. And as any bureaucrat will, you sit back there and say, all right, is this dog gonna hunt? What are we trying to do here?
The idea is that every piece of information, however insignificant, will be brought here and fed into a massive database. If McChrystal and his men learn everything they can about AQI, they may be able to quickly find its weakest points and strike.
Senior leadership understood that in order to win a counterinsurgency, you could not win it by being on the defensive. You had to go on the offensive.
You would be shocked at the focus on the targets. These are the top 10. Here are the intel collection tasks. This is how we're moving against them. And as information breaks on each one, you see the various forces and the interagency and the allies, and in some cases the Iraqis,
A key part of the plan is to pump each captured militant for as much intelligence as possible. So McChrystal sets up a special detention facility right next door to his command center.
The interrogation unit essentially composed of where we kept the prisoners and also our interrogation rooms and then our analysis room and our desks, which we called the Gator Pit. Part of our facility was an old Saddam era aircraft hangar, and then the rest of it was just kind of like makeshift built additions to a warehouse essentially.
Using his huge store of the most up-to-date intelligence, McChrystal unleashes the most dangerous weapon in JSOC's arsenal, the special mission units of elite frontline soldiers. These men will also work in an entirely new way. Historically, they ran only 1 or 2 major operations per year. Now they will conduct multiple raids on a daily basis.
I can remember visiting Iraq and watching them. They didn't go out once on a night, they went out multiple times. Oftentimes the intelligence operators would go with the special forces.
It all starts by piling in the back of a striker vehicle and sitting in a very cramped space that's very hot and very dark. And then you're going through the streets, and there's all types of hazards, roadside bombs and snipers. And by the time you get to the target, you're usually already drenched in sweat, and your adrenaline's going.
You're fired up. You have your game face on. You need to be intense because intensity and momentum are critical as far as winning the day. Nervous? Not really nervous.
Jumping out of the vehicle, you're running down the street. When it gets really exciting is when you have more than one house. Oftentimes, these terrorists, they would run out of one house and jump a wall and into another house. Then you'd have to raid a second house, and then sometimes they would end up with a third or fourth house.
The critical factor is speed. Every time a militant is captured, the members of the AQI around him will try to cover their tracks by reorganizing the entire network.
You have information that would perish. It was time sensitive. That sometimes needed to be run down to the ground, and maybe that would be the only chance of preventing a catastrophe or an act that would kill, a U.S. soldier or ally.
It's a cat and mouse game. The terrorists constantly change their routines, abandon safe houses, and recruit new men to replace those that have been lost. But if McChrystal's people can work faster than their enemy, they will destroy AQI before it can regenerate.
You take technical information, things like the stuff you get off a captured cell phone or a captured hard drive. You take detainee operation, what detainees are saying about the network they just came from, and you put them in a big hopper and say, our software, our analysis, our people have to be good enough so they can put together a picture of what that network looks like. And not only put that picture together, do it well enough so that an operator can conduct a raid within 24 hours. They're doing it for years on end with people from every agency in town. Incredible.
In a way, the most important idea that General McChrystal and JSOC brought to this whole thing was that if you hit an organisation fast enough, accurately enough, and repeatedly enough, you could actually cause them to collapse.
JSOC soon develops into a well-oiled machine. Every night, 4 Black Ops task forces spread out through Iraq, performing up to a dozen raids at one time. Each group is assigned to take down targets in a different part of US-occupied territory. To the north is Task Force Red, formed from the Army's 75th Rangers Brigade. To the west, Task Force Blue, made up of US Navy SEALs. The center of Iraq will be the responsibility of Task Force Green, staffed by the US Army's most elite unit, Delta Force. These soldiers are joined by a team of elite troops from Britain's Special Air Service, the SAS, operating under the codename Task Force Black. The SAS are the pioneers in the art of black ops, such as this daring hostage rescue from the Iranian embassy in the heart of London in 1980. In particular, they are masters of surveillance and intelligence gathering.
There was undoubtedly a feeling among many of the American intelligence operators that the SAS and the other British Special Forces had skills that were quite unusual and quite different to the type of skills that Delta Force or the SEALs had. The American training and operational activity had all been based around, if you like, action man, leaping out of helicopters, boarding ships, all this kind of stuff, assault roles. Whereas the British Special Forces, because of their long involvement, not just in Northern Ireland, but in places like the Balkans, where they've been involved in the hunt for war criminals, they had skills to do with the patient nurturing of targets and groups of targets. Now that involved surveillance, it involved creativity, stealth, about how, for example, could you get a remote surveillance camera onto a balcony overlooking a target you might be interested in. They came up with all sorts of things. They go around in Baghdad taxis, they disguise themselves. And the American intelligence people saw some of this during the early years in Baghdad, and they liked it.
McChrystal and his team work through their targets, night after night. The supply lines of foreign fighters are intercepted. Bomb makers are taken out of action. Mountains of intelligence are captured and analyzed.
They would do a raid, they would get what's called pocket litter, or hard drives, pieces of paper out of people's pockets. They'd come back, they'd bring it to analysts back on the base from the CIA, who would go through that information. That would lead to another targeting package, and the Special Forces would go out again. That sort of continuous feed, continuous loop, is what made them incredibly effective.
Despite 2 years of taking al-Zarqawi's network apart, the ultimate objective, the man himself, still eludes them. But the task force is about to find a crucial breakthrough, one that could finally stop al-Zarqawi for good. Strike teams from JSOC, the US Joint Special Operations Command, are staging multiple raids across Iraq every night. This secretive organization joins together elite special forces from across the US military and its allies. They are under the command of a single leader, General Stanley McChrystal. By the start of 2006, their system of rapid-fire raids and sophisticated intelligence gathering is beginning to pull apart the terror network known as AQI. They're also getting ever closer to its field leader, Abu Musab al-Zarqawi.
I'm going to target each discrete, tiny little element. If I can begin to pull little elements away, suddenly the whole thing falls on its own weight.
Whenever they get close to al-Zarqawi, he seems once again to slip through their cracks. Yet, he still retains the ability to perpetrate devastating attacks, especially against so-called soft targets, like Shia mosques, killing hundreds at once. In April 2006, al-Zarqawi releases a video which, for the first time in years, shows his face.
The fact that he was a charismatic military and tactical leader led to this larger-than-life sort of myth about him. I think it fed his ego as well. He kind of began believing his own press, if you will.
You had little kids in the street, pretending to be Abu Musab al-Zarqawi because he was essentially invincible.
The video urges al-Zarqawi's supporters to show no mercy against their so-called enemies, Iraq's Shia community and the US forces. Just as that video hits the airwaves, one element of the JSOC task force is preparing the latest in their long series of nightly raids. It's a team from the British SAS, operating under the codename Task Force Black. They are now concentrating on an area to the south of the capital. It is a militant parking lot, and the soldiers call it the Triangle of Death.
The British Special Operations Task Force conducted a series of operations in the Triangle of Death in early 2006. And they planned an operation in April 2006, which they called Larchwood Falls.
Operation Larchwood Falls is a dangerous and daring raid to arrest a mid-ranking al-Zakari henchman, codenamed Al-Qaeda. The Crystal's intelligence machine was pinpointed to a safe house in the town of Yusufia.
We put surveillance on that safe house, and we watched it continuously for, I think, almost a month. And then one day, we see this meeting map in there, these targets converge. And so we quickly sent a raid team to go out and capture the members in that safe house.
The team knows that houses like this are often well defended with heavily armed men, some carrying suicide vests. But the house could also contain a number of innocent civilians.
If you're a threat, then you engage. If you're not a threat, then you don't. You have to do it and make that decision. Listen, that's what Special Operations trains for. That's what they're really, really good at.
But just after 2 a.m., Task Force Black sets off in their helicopters for the target house. Following is a support group from the British Parachute Project, the PARAs. They will form a cordon around the house to prevent reinforcements arriving and arrest so-called squirters, targets trying to make a run for it. A short flight of just 20 minutes puts them within range of the house.
The SAS men realised it was not going to be a typical sort of mission. They thought they could hear sounds inside the building. They approached very gingerly, and to their surprise and satisfaction found that there was a door just wide open. Almost as soon as they were through the door, they were hit by a hail of bullets. These people were heavily armed, and they were prepared to fight to the death in order to prevent the SAS from getting in and taking their man.
The team quickly withdraws to a safe distance. They must decide whether or not to resume the attack.
Some of these incidents where heavy resistance was encountered, they simply pulled back and dropped a bomb on the building and killed everybody inside. For many different reasons, the SAS commander on the ground decided not to do that. They wanted this person alive for intelligence purposes. They felt it was worth trying to fight their way in, and that's what they did.
Your raid compounds, the objective is to keep the opposition on the run, and keeping them defensive.
The team encounter a sniper, a suicide bomber.
But one of the SAS men went up the stairs and detonated. The SAS man was blown down the stairs. Fortunately for him, he wasn't seriously wounded, he had cuts and bruises, but of course the suicide bomber had blown himself up.
Meanwhile, outside the house, more militants join the fight. They rain fire down on the special forces.
Another man wearing a suicide vest, a squirter, fled out the back of the building and hid under a car.
The outer cordon of paratroopers enters the fight. Taking out the two militants firing from the roof, they turn their attention to the suicide bomber hiding under the car, shooting him dead before he can detonate his vest.
So at the end of a sort of terrifying 20 minutes, there were a whole lot of dead people.
Inside the house, we captured 5 senior ranking members of Al-Qaeda.
The operation is considered another successful day of the office for Task Force Black. The main target of the raid, Al-Qaeda, is in custody, along with 4 other detainees. In addition, a treasure trove of intelligence is recovered from the house.
They sweep everything up they think might be irrelevant. Mobile phones, computers, everything else, and they take it away. As a result of Larchwood 4 and subsequent operations at General, a huge amount of actionable intelligence came into JSOC's hands.
When a JSOC analyst starts to probe one of the captured computers, he discovers something extraordinary. Raw footage of al-Zakari himself from his recent propaganda video.
Through traces of DNA that were found on it when it was sent back to the US for analysis, they would conclude it was his laptop.
The analysts realize that al-Zakari must have left the house just hours before the SAS arrived.
We actually started to get excited that we were close because Zakari was in that house the day before we raided it. And that's when we finally had the confidence to think that we were
is we made a shake.
They had narrowly missed their
We
target.
did cherries and blueberries in it today.
By the spring of 2006, the hunt for Abu Musab al-Zarqawi, the leader of al-Qaeda in Iraq, has reached a turning point. An elite assault team from the Joint Special Operations Command, JSOC, has secured a major breakthrough following a daring raid on a terrorist safe house.
The momentum had shifted. The raids of his network were getting faster and closer to him, and so you had the sense, we're going to get there.
As well as capturing several senior members of al-Qaeda in the raid, JSOC soldiers discover a video of enemy number one, al-Zarqawi. Hoping to tarnish his fearsome reputation, the coalition releases the full, unedited video to the media. It contains the familiar footage of the terrorist leader parading through the desert, confidently firing machine gun. But it also shows another side to al-Zarqawi, a slightly overweight, unimpressive figure of a man.
Here's Zarqawi, the ultimate warrior, trying to shoot his machine gun. It's supposed to be automatic fire. He's shooting a single shot.
No sooner does he figure out how to switch his weapon to fully automatic, when it jams, and the self-styled holy warrior can't get his going again.
He looks down, can't figure it out. Calls a scream, it's unblocked to stop it. You get the weapon firing again.
He also appears to be going into battle wearing a nice pair of white trainers, hardly the image of a man threatening the might of America.
It makes you wonder.
Meanwhile, deep inside JSOC's secret detention center, the task force's interrogators get to work on their captives.
The men that we brought in, we called the Group of Five, and we knew that there were 5 important members of Al-Qaeda, but we didn't know what their roles were. And they had this very unbelievable story that they were there to attend a wedding, even though there was no bride or groom, and there were suicide bombers in the house. And little by little, we would get information from one of them, and we would take that and turn around and use it against the other 4.
One member of the group, the senior AQI operative named Abu Haidar, refuses to say anything.
He was interrogated for about 20 days. And during that time, he just maintained this story that he was just there to be at the wedding, even though it was completely unbelievable.
For weeks, rotating teams of interrogators try psychological pressure, pleas for cooperation, subtle threats, and subtle promises. Eventually they decide he will not talk, and arrange to have him sent to Iraq's main detention facility, Abu Ghraib prison.
I decided that I would go and interrogate him one last time before he left. And I didn't really have permission to do that, but I felt that he could provide very important information towards finding Zarqawi. And that conversation started with nothing about Al-Qaeda, nothing about terrorism. It just started with a friendly conversation about who he was, what was his life story, how did he come to be sitting in a chair opposite me, and getting to know each other.
Over the course of 5.5 hours, Matthew Alexander discovers Abu Haidar has a fatal weakness, his arrogance. He believes he has beaten the mighty American machine and should be recognized for it. Alexander obliges him.
I would constantly stroke his ego, constantly make him believe in this fallacy that in his head, that he was a very important man, that he could affect the future of our life. And then, in the last 15 minutes, what I did was essentially offer him a deal. I offered him the chance to work with us instead of Al-Qaeda in a secret program that didn't exist, in which he could be a person who could influence the future of Iraq. And he decided to work with me.
Over the next few weeks, Alexander visits Abu Haidar in his cell at night and coaxes more and more information into al-Zarqawi's whereabouts, all on the pretext of proving his worth for the non-existent secret program.
I said, "You're so close to getting this program. All we need is that one last piece of information that'll convince my bosses." And he said every month Zarqawi would meet with his spiritual advisor, who was our detainee's best friend.
It's the piece of intelligence that everyone has been waiting for. For years, al-Zarqawi has been oppressed, striking with impunity. Now, at last, JSOC has what it needs to find him and take him out.
The intelligence and military effort that had been put together was beginning to close the noose around his neck. We knew that Zarqawi had a spiritual advisor. We knew that he was going to visit him. It was just a matter of being patient.
Using this information, JSOC quickly traces the spiritual advisor and begins following him day and night. Using high-tech systems like predator drones, as well as old-fashioned undercover operatives, they create what McChrystal calls the unblinking eye. Their target is never out of sight. Abu Haidar tells Alexander that if they want to find al-Zarqawi, they need to look for one particular sign.
we would know when he was going to meet with Zarqawi because he would change cars from a white car to a blue car. And whenever he got in his blue car, that meant he was going to meet Zarqawi.
Once again, it was joining US and UK surveillance on a building in Baghdad. Lo and behold, they realised by following his movements that every few days this man got into his car. They used Predator and other methods to follow his car as it went off the road to this place in the palm groves near Tikrit, where indeed Abu Musab al-Zarqawi himself was hiding.
By now, pictures from the drone are being fed live to JSOC's command center. Everyone, including General McChrystal himself, is watching in silence as al-Zarqawi's spiritual advisor gets out of the car. Then, Abu Musab al-Zarqawi himself appears.
Once the blue car arrived at the house, helicopters took off immediately to go to that house and capture Zarqawi. And it was about 20 minutes away.
A discussion is held in the command center. Is it worth trying to capture al-Zarqawi alive in broad daylight? Is it better to wait until nightfall and take him when he's asleep? If they strike now, they risk a heavy firefight and numerous casualties. Worse, al-Zarqawi is a master of the last-minute escape. If they wait, he could easily slip through the netting. This could be their one and only chance to finish the job.
And there was a period of time in which we were just waiting. I was watching it live on video. And we were just waiting.
McChrystal believes there is no time to lose. He can't even wait 20 minutes for the assault force to arrive by helicopter. He opts for another plan, designed to take al-Zarqawi completely by surprise. He calls up two F-16 fighters patrolling nearby.
We were expecting to watch the helicopters land in the raids, which we typically would watch. And instead, after about maybe a 5-minute wait, the house just exploded.
They knew he was in the building, and they made the decision, without losing any time, to prosecute the targets. They didn't even feel there was time to get one of their special ops task forces in the air to go and raid the building. They simply decided to hit it with bombs from an F-16, which is what they did.
Just minutes after the bombing, special forces arrive at the house. Incredibly, they find al-Zarqawi still alive in the wreckage.
A soldier grabbed him, and then Zarqawi died. And it was sort of a sweet justice, if you will, that Zarqawi's last image was a U.S. soldier grabbing him.
The day following the raid, the U.S. announces to the world that they have their man at last.
Good morning. Now Zarqawi has met his end. And this violent man will never murder again.
Pictures are released of his dead body as grim confirmation.
Zarqawi could be responsible for upwards of almost 100,000 deaths by starting the civil war in Iraq. And so I don't think the world's going to miss him.
It's a devastating blow to Al-Qaeda in Iraq. The man who was thought to be invincible is dead. But the work is not over. With the intelligence that was collected from the smouldering remains of al-Zarqawi's compound, another series of raids is launched. And AQI starts to fall like a stack of dominoes.
There was, a good deal of chaos inside the organization. And what you do is, when you're targeting Zarqawi, you're also collecting intelligence on the network. And so what that allows you to do is, the minute he's dead, they're far more vulnerable, the people around him, than they realize.
Killing him undoubtedly had an impact. There was a lot of exploitation from the raid, a lot of material was recovered, and we can see that little by little, through 2006, through to the early part of 2007, they did successfully take him down. So Zarqawi, if you like, was evidence of a bigger strategy that was really getting seriously affected by that point. And certainly by the summer of 2007, Al-Qaeda in Iraq had largely been smashed.
And so you do a series of raids that is devastating, and they never really came back from his death.
Today, the Joint Special Operations Command is the group of Special Forces operators that is tasked with planning and executing dangerous and secretive missions for the United States. The black ops it conducts have continued to strike at the heart of Al-Qaeda and other terror groups around the world. In 2011, it was JSOC that planned and executed the mission to take down the world's most wanted man, Osama bin Laden.
You have to win. And at the end of the day, when the heat is on, you're going to do whatever it takes to win.
on the scene, put me in a city jail. And sometimes you make moves, and always soft, as always around the rim. I lost a few nights and I lost a couple fights, blacked out on a whiskey binge. Beat a whole lot of chicks, fucked a bunch of hot chicks, and a couple that will make you cringe. Got to keep it 100, I'll say it if I do it. Don't give a fuck about how you feel.
Mr. Plattner, when the that's called Predator's Paradise for child.
For their strategy and their military assessment, and obviously helping the oil market and the financial market. So, they are, President Trump said that the Iran Republic requested a meeting in Doha. I said Oman earlier, I meant meeting in Doha. And obviously the Iran Republic said we're not going. So Jared Kushner, Steve Witkoff went to Qatar, Doha, and 3/4 of the Islamic Republic's leadership, all the clerics, all the IRGC, have agreed that the red line that I mentioned will not be moved. There will not be a peace deal between the United States and the Islamic Republic of Iran. There will never be a peace deal between these two sides. No nuclear talks, no concessions on Strait of Hormuz, and the Americans are refusing to give them any money. So it's going to be fun. But the Prime Minister of Israel today went to Lebanon in their security zone, which is a major development. He met with the Israeli Defense Forces, made a bit of a speech, message to the IRGC that Israel and the United States are getting ready.
קודם כל, ואני יחד עם שר הביטחון וסגן הרמטכ"ל ואלוף הפיקוד והמפקדים שלכם שאיתם דיברתי, המעוז והמח"טים, ואני מציע לכם. עשיתי כאן עבודה ענקית, ובעצם מה שעשינו זה לקחנו את הציר האיראני והתחלנו לחזק אותו. תקפנו באיראן עצמה, דבר שאף אחד לא האמין, והרחקנו איום קיומי. החוליה החשובה ביותר בציר האיראני הייתה פה, חיזבאללה. היו לו 150,000 טילים ורקטות, שזה הריכוז של טילים ורקטות הצפוף ביותר על כדור הארץ. היום נשאר להם בערך 8%, זה עדיין משמעותי, אז זה כבר לא מה שהיה. בפעילות שלכם אנחנו חיסלנו כמה? 9,000 מחבלים, מאות מחבלים בשבועות האחרונים. וכמובן הדבר העיקרי שעשינו, וזה מה שאתם עושים כאן, זה ליצור אזורי חיץ, אזורי ביטחון, לא בצד שלנו של הגבול, בצד שלהם. אז אנחנו עושים את זה בלבנון, עשינו את זה בעזה. האזורי ביטחון האלה זה שינוי תפיסה. זה אומר שאנחנו לא נותנים לצבא של טרוריסטים לשבת לנו על הגבול. ואנחנו מרחיקים אותם, זה מה שאתם עושים. והם משמידים את כל מה שמעל הקרקע ותת הקרקע ששירת אותם בעצם כאמצעי תקיפה, חדירה.
Do you remember a few months ago when Tucker Carlson, Crazy Candace Owens and Chunky Yogurt from the Young Turks were convinced that the Prime Minister of Israel is dead? Well, that was a simpler times, wasn't it? But yes, in case you don't know, we've already reported on what the plan is, roughly speaking, in Lebanon. The US, Israel, and Lebanon working together to disarm Hezbollah. Well, for a lot of people, that was, again, a vague sort of agreement, saying, oh, well, we've heard this before, and they keep saying Hezbollah should be disarmed, but how? Well, we now have the details, and we're going to explain exactly how Hezbollah will be annihilated. All right, the annexation plan. This is absolutely fascinating. There are different phases. First is the pilot zones, the initial phase. Israel and Lebanon will designate and then launch the initial pilot zone in the South Litani sector in Lebanon. There's a 4-step model. Number 1, clearance. Clear them out. So there's legal measures against Hezbollah, against any unauthorized activity. They will be going in, They will be arresting them, killing them, all the other options that are available, and basically taking the weapons in each area. So first zone, you clear it. That's the clearance. Then the verification of clearance is the second stage, which is basically the Americans will help Lebanon and Israel to go and check that it's this area, for example, this zone has been cleared. And then we have the third stage, which is the presence of a highly qualified the Lebanese Armed Forces, or the LAF. They will then take control of the zone once Hezbollah has, in that area, just one area, has been taken out. And then the Lebanese state will lead the reconstruction of that zone, supported by the United States. So that's basically, they will go zone by zone. Now the implementation part. The Lebanese Armed Forces will lead the implementation of it. They are responsible, so they have to take responsibility. The Americans and the Israelis will monitor and supervise. Once the first zones have been done, clearance, verification of the clearance and the reconstruction, then they will establish Israel and Lebanon.
Maine Housing helps eligible Mainers buy, rent, heat, and repair their homes. Visit mainhousing.org to see if you qualify.
Too many letters, which will be operating 24/7 to manage the zones.
I'll grab one of those.
The verification, clearance, and everything else. And then they will report to the political leadership, both in Beirut and in Jerusalem. And then you've got the security commitments. The Lebanese armed forces will commit to continue to monitor the zones, to disarm Hezbollah, and they will have to answer to Israel and the United States. Until now, we don't really have the rest. So we've had promises by Lebanon, but they didn't have the power to do it alone. Israel doing it alone in the south of Lebanon. Now we're going to have it by with the help of the Americans. And then you've got the sequenced redeployment phase, which is following the success of the clearance phase and the verification phase of the disarmament of Hezbollah. Israel will commit to a phased, conditions-based withdrawal. Only condition-based. So they will slowly walk out, and this is going to take time. It's going to be in the next 2 days. They will slowly walk back. They will keep an eye on the zone, go back again to the next zone, next area, and then they will go out. The outcome is to restore the Lebanese state authority and sovereignty throughout the whole country and ensure Israel's long-term security. Now, the US will facilitate the whole project. They will conduct reviews to ensure that it's going well, and there's absolutely no way any of this is going to be stopped. It's going to be very difficult, because part of the MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding, which was basically nonsense, because the Americans essentially promised the Islamic Republic a lot of things, but they didn't give it to them. People were panicking at that time, right? So one of the things was that the Islamic Republic said, we're going to negotiate for 60 days with you. But one of the conditions is Israel to leave Lebanon and Hezbollah to stay alive. Well, what I just explained goes exactly the opposite way. It contradicts the Memorandum of Understanding or any future deal. So, good luck, IRGC. Now, as of today, for those who've been worrying about this MOU or the 60-day ceasefire extension, I'm going to give you some good news. The Americans, the Islamic Republic, told the world that the Americans will be lifting all sanctions, including oil sanctions. That's not true. So what they actually did, 60-day period, when I think we have about 40 days left, right? 50, 40 days left. They only gave them a temporary oil sanction waiver. So for about 60 days, only 60 days, your oil will not be sanctioned. But the Americans knew this. No sane country or company will be dealing with any supplier if they know that the license to get oil from them is only for like 60 days. So the Europeans and the rest of the world are still not buying oil from Iran. The only group that temporarily the oil is going towards is China. Because China and the allies, China says, sure, I'll help you out, throw some money. Doesn't really matter, let them do it. The rest of the world, nothing. The Islamic Republic, Tucker Carlson, CNN, all these guys said that the United States will be releasing the frozen funds. Billions and billions. The United States have not released any of the frozen assets. Israel is still in southern Lebanon, despite the fact that the MOU said the Israelis are part of the deal without being part of the negotiations, and they will have to leave. Not only they're not leaving, they're going to be destroying the IRGC's proxy, Hezbollah. The Islamic Republic is not in a strong position in any way. The oil relief is temporary. It only goes to China. Doesn't really matter. The funds are frozen. Israel is still in Lebanon. And the Americans are saying that we are only doing this to negotiate the nuclear problem. And if you're not going to negotiate that, then we're just going to wait for a little bit and then start the war again. Right now, we just need a bit of a break for all the reasons that I've already explained and you know. And then the war will resume. But it's not going to be the normal war this time. It's not going to be the airstrikes. It is what I call the Great Middle East War. There's going to be different phases in Lebanon, in Yemen with the Houthis, and of course in Iraq with the Islamic occupation. But the Islamic Republic are lashing out. They're a little bit upset, in case you didn't know. Firstly, there is a big problem with their leadership. They are all over the place. They have now threatened, not just Oman, as I mentioned, but they are now threatening France and the United States and anybody else who attempts to clear the sea mines in the Strait of Hormuz. Now they have said that mine clearance is carried out only by Iran and not by any other country, which by the way means that we are not going to clear the sea mines. War. At the same time, what they are doing the last few days, they're not helping themselves, they are mental. They are now calling for the assassination of President Trump again at their rallies in Tehran. These are the people who are supported by Tucker Carlson and all the weirdos. The people who claim to be American are fighting against their own
probably
country.
one of the keys.
Senator Susan Collins secured over
right,
$87 million to modernize fire stations across Maine. She's leading the statewide push to ensure Maine's first responders have the
Pull
tools they need
over!
to stay safe. And
Stop the car! Stop the car! Woo! Oh, what a peanut. I'm sorry. That's funny.
Yeah, when Trump threatened them.
Oh, yeah. I see it, yeah. 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 I watched that one. Is that one?
It's
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Well, how can we negotiate when Israel
No, I'll
wants to kill
definitely watch that
Volleyball?
one. Hold on.
You want to kill Trump. Just keep watching.
The regional shoes of Peter Marks at the end of February. You've gone ahead under pressure, probably monitoring the emergency use authorization. This is the longest nationwide shutdown. Now you're watching Bears, and you are seeing Bears deluged with adverse events, right? The contractor that inputs Bears reports had to hire 290 additional people just to clear the backlog. So you're freaking out. Put yourself in the shoes of Peter Marks. You've gone ahead under pressure, probably granted the emergency use authorization for these COVID injections. Now you're watching Bears, and you are seeing Bears deluged with adverse events, right? The contractor that inputs Bears reports had to hire 290 additional people just to clear the backlog. So you're freaking out. You just approve this thing. It's killing people. It's disabling people.
You know that the COVID vaccines are toxic and that they cause way amount of adverse events, more than any other vaccine that's been recommended. In fact, let me just play you a 30-second clip here to explain this to you.
Swine flu vaccine, 1976. There was one serious adverse event per 100,000 people vaccinated, and the vaccine was withdrawn. This is good because the principle is we should do no harm, and the vaccine should be good for the individual that receives the vaccine.
What? Oh, the businesses that'll, natural disasters happen or earthquakes and people need relief and aid. And then you have like local businesses or mama shops. We're going to send food to those poor people. Yeah, we think it's bullshit. And you can get upset with us saying that we're mean. We're not saying anything is good or bad. We're just saying that, that's bullshit. That when you have businesses that take advantage of people who are in a disposition, a natural disaster, right, so we should have aid and relief efforts that take care of that, so we don't have to have little small corner stores with signs in the windows like, come on in, 10% is going to the earthquake people. Like, put up pictures of the disaster. Let the drama draw them in. Here's an extra 10 for the children. It goes to the children. Hold on. Well, I'm trying to leave, but I can't seem to open the door. There's a heroin junkie passed out. They're blocking the door. I can't open it. Hold on, let me shove it a little bit harder. Who the fuck cares? No, I'm trying to pull out of the parking spot. There's all these people standing around with cardboard signs. Anything helps. Anything. Want a treat for your dog there? Look at the little Poochie. I got some dog treats. You want a dog treat? I got nothing for you, dude. You deserved it. If you are where you're at, then you deserve it. Karma's a bitch, ain't it, buddy? Yeah. Did you see those pictures of the kids in Venezuela? It's an earthquake. Think I care about you and your cardboard sign and your hunger? Get the fuck out of here. Here, Poochie, you want a little treat? You know what? Someone should take this pet away from this dirty person. Can we save the pet from the mean, dirty person? You're mean. They're fucking way nicer than you are. Which one? Some of them. It depends. I mean, it's like a box of chocolates, you know. I know. Well, we live around a bunch of stereotypical, anal retentive, nasty fucking drug addict criminals that are protecting murderers and pedophiles. It's fucking insane. Yeah, so I'm not sure if you have any suggestions as to how we can get people to pull their heads out of their asses and acknowledge the facts and concerns with the kids and the hostages. The fucking and torturing of our children and how that abuse is fed out to these lines. I mean, we've said it multiple times. I think you should get it. You should get it. I think it's just a matter of the acceptance on your part. I know many of you have a hard time with that. We've done this for a long time. Trust me when I say that when you accept the truth, it will lift a lot of confusion, and what doesn't make sense starts to make sense. There might be some other things now that don't make sense, and that can be very easily explained, but you got to kind of accept what is first, because we're not even going to bother. We are not even going to fucking bother mushing the apples for the pie when they're already fucking rotten. We're just going to throw them out and go to Paneria Bread and get a kitchen sink cookie. I'm actually never getting one of those again. Oh my god. I mean, I got a little bit of a stomach ache. There's a lot of sugar and carbs in that thing. Holy smokes. It did. I got a bit of a sugar crash. A bit of a... Not too bad. But it was just not worth it. No. I mean, this protein shake I'm drinking is way better than that cookie. And it's way healthier for me. And it has tryptophan. And Brussels sprouts. Has Brussels sprouts in it. You can't even taste them. You would never know there's Brussels sprouts in here. I got blueberries and cherries. It's freaking delicious. I got the Great Value dark cherries. I got the Wyman blueberries this time. Sometimes I get the Great Value blueberries, sometimes I get those. It depends what time of year it is and what kind of mood I'm in, really. Thank the good heavens. Imagine, think of it. That's what I mean, you know, before, you know, these kind of communication capabilities. And when you see how the criminals and sickos are the ones that don't like the technology. It's gonna take over. China wants to rule the world. I know, we go for, like, look at the 3 nations, too, that they're putting fear into people about. China wants to rule the world. Putin, he's gonna blow everybody up. Now it's Iraq. Iran. Are you leaking? Or runny? Leaky and runny is a little different. Well, a steady stream would be running, right? It's running. Leaking is more not a drip, but like a trickle out of a crack. There's a big difference. There's a huge difference. You should look that up. Or not. Just go with the flow. Try to use your best judgment. Yeah, and it is better to be safe than sorry. What's the rule? When in doubt, throw it out. Much love, health, and peace to you all. I really hope they help these hostages here at the Governor Hill Mansion soon. Much love, much love, much love to you. And peace be with you all, you beautiful, amazing beings. From the bottom of our achy breaky hearts, we once again shout out to the universe. I know everybody's been watching. They're amazed at how fucking bewildered and stupid, they're bewildered themselves, right, at how fucking stupid and evil and nasty some of the people around us are. Many of them have moved away. That's why, because they know it, and they know that those people know it. They see the people around us don't know it. That's what they depend on. So that's why they get out of fucking town before those people wake up. And they depend on them not waking up. And sometimes they don't. They'll take it to their deathbed and continue to protect the fucking slugs. It's so fucking sick. It's sick and disgusting how they take advantage of each other, lick each other's assholes, and cut each other's throats. And I hope you motherfuckers burn in hell forever and ever. Amen. Happy licking each other's assholes, you nasty fucking people. To the rest of you, wow, thank you so much. Above and beyond the Call of Duty, right? Holy smokes. I know it is. You know it is. Be proud of yourselves. I mean, it just happened. I mean, it's just a feeling, right? It's not a matter of being conceited and like, yeah, I'm proud of myself. It's a good feeling. And I'm glad that you are able to feel that way and you're in that state of awareness. I'm not even going to tell you to feel proud of yourself. I'm just going to say congratulations. All right. Much love, health, and peace to you all. You're welcome. Thank you. Yeah, we're just finishing up our shake. We're going to get some water, do some stretches, coloring, reading. Yeah, we'll see you there, man. All right. Mwah.